Here we go. I better wait. I need you to giggle for this. Oh, this is what happens when you make videos with your wife. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm back with some more Raising Them Hip Hop, and this evening I'm joined by my lovely wife, Tracy. She's over, I guess, the course of our relationship for the last decade has kind of gotten into hip hop through, our relationship. And there's some songs that kind of mean something to her for different reasons, and we'll get into that. So we're going to do a couple tracks tonight. But first, I want to say thanks for letting Alex do this with me, because I'm really having a good time. And I think he's having a good time, too.
He's having a lot of fun.
Yeah, he is. And he's, he came down because someone had commented that, oh, he's so sweet. And he was just like, someone said I was sweet.
They don't know him.
Yeah, I know. You can borrow him anytime you want.
Cute, yes.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So, Trace... I don't think it would be fair to say that you didn't listen to any rap before we started dating.
No.
Probably knew some of it.
I think, like most people who if hip hop is not their usual go-to when they're putting something on their phone or whatever.
Yep.
Eminem is their introduction, and he was my introduction.
And see, my introduction to hip-hop was way before that, so... but to me, that's cool, because Eminem was her gateway to some other stuff. Apathy, Vinnie Paz, certain Wu-Tang songs, Bone Thugs. So yeah, I've tried to explain to Alex, as we do these, that, for me, I had to connect with music, so I'm showing her some music that I connected with. And it's the same with Trace. The hip-hop that she likes is music that, for whatever reason, has spoken to her. And there's some stuff that would probably surprise you, and we're going to do... One of those today is... Vinnie Paz. Is happiness just a word? Jenny Matrix and Vinnie were always that real aggressive group that, they found their audience, and they never needed a major label. They didn't need major backing, but he found his audience. Him and Stoop, and Just Allah, when he was part of the group, but he hasn't been for quite a few years. They had found their niche. But what happened is Vinnie got older. You would notice in the Jedi album or her solo album, there was one or two songs in every album that was topical or addressing a human rights issue or something like that. We were in the car about 4 years ago, I guess now, and I had bought the Carry On Tradition EP from Vinnie Paz, and the last song was Is Happiness Just a Word with Yes Alexander. And immediately Trace reacted to it in a big bad way, really dug it. I just asked one day, why, what is it about that song? And the first thing he said was, you've gotten to really like Vinnie's voice.
Yeah, he has an amazing voice. So
that kind of surprised me that she liked that. And I mean, she came home the other day and said, but Vinnie Paz and Block McLeod did a song that I love. So I had to put that on her phone.
emailed you.
Yes, you emailed me. Yeah.
I emailed you from work. It's like, who is Block McLeod?
Yeah. So really Block, if you're listening, you got a fan here. I had to give her everything. I have, and have since I was 10, ADHD, pretty severe. And we noticed it in Alex when he was about 3 or 4.
I've known since he was wee little.
No, but when did it really start to be like, okay, we're going to have to go and just double check this? 3 or 4?
Questioned all along.
Yeah.
Like every time we had a doctor's appointment or anything like that, I would always, do you think this is a problem? He seems, or is he just a boy? And, until he was 4 or 5, it was, oh, he's just a boy. But then finally, I think he was 6.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. But because, of our union, and she has to deal with me being ADHD and also someone who suffers from depression, but not, never to the point where it's like I want to harm people. I just get in real dark headspaces and moods, and she's learned to tell when that's happening, and she does her best to help me get out of it, or whatever she thinks I need, she's right there for me, which is one of the reasons our relationship has worked, because she just got me right from the get-go, and I noticed that with Alex. She was getting that. So when you heard that song, was that the connection? Because Vinnie was talking about mental health, essentially.
Yeah. Like when I first heard it, like it was kind of tugging at my heartstrings.
I've said in some other videos that part of what makes an artist successful to me is if they can create music or content, whatever it is, painting, movie, a book, whatever. If you can create something that the audience can personally connect to, they're going to be a fan. Now, I mean, I just said that by myself when I was talking to you guys, but is that, you think, what happened here? Because you've become a big Jedi fan, like Vinnie Paz specifically fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His new album came out the other night, and she came down here with me, and we listened to the whole thing. You know, like, and she's very upfront, like, you know, the aggressive, just to be aggressive stuff, not for her. Like, because he was personal on that song, you were able to connect and be like, okay, this dude's deeper than just. And Alex is a huge Vinnie fan, and I know he loves that song. Did that song help you connect with him any better, do you think?
When you have a little bit more of an understanding of how their brain works and their thought processes.
Yeah.
When you have a deeper understanding of how someone's thought process works, then like you would change the way that you interact with them.
Or just your general approach,
Well, yeah.
I haven't heard another song, really, in the hip-hop world. There's a few where he kind of gets into mental health and puts it in the perspective of someone who has always wanted to try and explain why there's maybe a disconnect, a personal disconnect between him and someone. But the way he did it works so well. It just went to that other level, you know, and that's really when I was like, okay, this dude's a lot deeper. We're an interesting house here because I've got ADHD. Our youngest, Alex, has ADHD. Declan has OPITs and is autistic. And Maddie has Down syndrome. Now, we're a blended family, but we've been together since Alex was this big. So songs like this really hit home for us because it just helps us connect in ways that maybe we didn't think about. And I think it's important every once in a while to actually listen to a song. You know a club song when you hear it, you know just a radio song to be a radio song, but every once in a while something will come on and you're like, ooh, this song's going to be with me for a while, and this is one of them. If you're someone who has someone in your life that deals with depression, oppositional defiance disorder, have someone in your life that suffers from a lot of anxiety, have a listen to the song, buy it, have a listen, because I think it'll help you understand, because it really is written from a place of someone who's always wanted to try and explain it to people he loves and couldn't do it, and this was his way to deal with it. And I really do think once you understand, it'll change your approach. And we don't want to get preachy on this show, but it's nice when music has a meaning that can touch a lot of people that maybe sometimes don't feel like there's a lot of messages for them. Just a wonderful voice.
Beautiful.
Through. Underdiagnosed for 20 years, they never broke through. You ever been in such a fog you don't know you? Never being able to do the shit you supposed to? I wouldn't wish it on anyone that I'm close to. Wouldn't wish it on anybody that I'm opposed to. There's not an accurate diagnosis to show you.
And it was with Alex before, like just after he was diagnosed, and when we made the decision that he was going to be medicated, and you yourself decided that you were going to start taking your medication again. That line made me understand that how
the fog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how crazy and jumbled up. And Alex has explained his brain like that to me. Like he said, it's just, there's so much in there. But when he's on his medication, he's able to make sense and
Focus.
put things in order.
I had gone off it after my son was born. But then I noticed I wasn't progressing professionally anymore. I felt like I was always stuck in the mud with whatever I was doing. And Alex was kind of scared to go on a medicine. So I said, look, I'll start taking mine again. And we started together. And that's when everything for me changed, because I was an adult again. I would have been...
Again?
I felt like it, because without it, I realized now I was like a child.
Okay.
But I was in my early 30s when I went back on it. And everything changed for me. My career changed. I run my own business. You know, we have a film company. I'm a filmmaker, writer, editor. 90% of the stuff I do, unfortunately, won't be seen because it's for, corporations and whatnot. But if I hadn't have made the decision to, go with Alex and do this with him to make him feel better, I don't know if I'd be in the same position that I am today. So, I get some people don't agree with it. I get some people don't want to, put their kids on medication, and Paz even talks about that in here. But it's something I know for me personally, if I'm not on it.
I can tell.
She knows by lunchtime.
I know the minute you wake up. I know that you have to give them an hour.
But it's, I just wish people would listen to doctors and do some research. There's absolutely some pills that may not work for you. It took 2 to find the one for Alex.
Oh, more.
Because there's pills and dosages and all that. And,
it takes a little while to find your to find your happy. But
I mean, we're talking a kid that used to bounce off the walls.
Literally.
Literally. We have ripped curtains and rods to show you. You know what I mean? So, and we just felt with our 2 other boys with learning delays, both at different levels and different coping and understanding. Matt used to cry whenever Alex would get like that because he didn't understand. Declan would go to his room and be very afraid. So that was there was a lot that went into that decision. And it's tough, Now, we wouldn't trade our kids for anything. And I've said before that if someone came down and said, you can give this magic pill to cure your kids, I don't think I would do it. Because they wouldn't be the children I fell in love with. Our 2 oldest boys have the biggest hearts you'll ever see. Mm-hmm. Because they just live life through these pristine glasses where it's just like, are you nice? Then I like you. Let's talk.
Matt is scary accurate in his personality barometer.
Yep.
He can, if you are not nice but you're coming in smiling, he's going to know that you are not nice.
Yep, and he won't stick around.
Nope.
So when Trace is talking about that particular line, you ever been in such a fog that you don't know you not being able to do the shit you're supposed to? I know exactly what he's talking about, and that was one of the key lines that Trace really connected to help her connect with her son and be able to essentially talk him down, walk him back, get him out. Because he also went to therapy. And those discussions were between him and the therapist, but the therapist taught him coping mechanisms. So between the coping mechanisms, which Alex taught to me, straight up, and his low dosage medicine, we have a kid that you guys see every week who, heart of gold, and loves life. So, look into stuff. Don't just jump to conclusions. So. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Biology isn't close to it. I'm watching life as a spectator. I can't help myself even though I possess data. It's not a part of my spirit to want to test nature. You think you know what I'm feeling, cousin, then let's wager. I have trouble retaining new information. Familiar scenes start to look foreign to realization. Everybody tired of being patient. Mama wonder why her baby crying in the basement.
Now that line means something to me because I wouldn't be crying, but when I grew up, and I've said a single parent home, I got real depressed as a teenager, and I remember my mom all the time like, "What's wrong? What's going on?" I didn't have an answer. To this day, when I have my I just call them dark days, when I have a real dark day, and Trace will be like, what's wrong? I don't know. It's not something I can control. It's not something that I can explain, like, oh, well, I stubbed my toe, and then you said this, and someone ate the bacon. It's not something I can articulate. It's just this darkness.
In our house, that would make for a dark day for anyone.
If someone ate all the bacon,
yes.
it's
held the bacon.
Yeah, we have boxing gloves, but no, my point is, to this day, I can't explain. It's just this weird funk and feeling of inadequacy and gloom. And there's no reason to feel that way. I'm very successful in my life, in my professional and personal life. I can't explain it. So that line where he talks about, Mama wondering why his baby's crying in the basement. Pretty poignant. And, think about that. If it's a friend or family or something that, is going through this kind of stuff.
Constant rumination just exacerbates it to the point where I can't even barely narrate it. I've had doctors tell me that my mind is fascinating, but they can tell me why the sickness has been activated.
Brilliant line.
But I don't want to be dead. Dead don't work. Sleep the cousin of death. The bed don't work.
And that struck with me just as knowing that Alex is into hip hop, and it's a positive message to be putting out there that dead don't work. So I know a lot of people contemplate that sort of thing if they're when they're in a really dark place, and it's nice that.
That was said.
That yes, exactly. People need to hear that.
As my darkest day, I've never thought about anything like that myself. I know people that have thought about it, and I think we both know people that have done it. But, now that once Alex was diagnosed, there's just certain things we both, from different experiences in our life, can watch for. But he's not showing those kind of signs of depression yet. It may change with puberty. But when a role model, and whether rappers want to admit it or musicians want to admit it, they're role models. Doesn't mean they have to go and be singing, Barney songs, right? But just saying something as simple, dead don't work, will resonate. It really will. Here's a 30-something-year-old woman.
Thank you.
Guys, take notes. Right? That one line resonated with. It's just, I know, I agree. It's nice to hear through all this darkness, that wasn't an option. Well, he kind of says, well, maybe, but no, so anyway.
Maybe I'd rather be dead. Dead don't hurt. Realization of an inherent emptiness. Maybe that's another sin for the pessimist. Possibly I am a djinn, we're the exorcist. I've fallen cause I've been on the precipice. Maybe it's my mama's possible regret. Maybe it's a neurological neglect. Maybe it's the reason why I water wet. The angular gyrus and where the frontal lobe connect. But maybe I'm being too complicated for you. Maybe I should just be calm and explain it to you. The psychiatrist thinking they can fool you. Paxil, Zoloft, it's just wasteful to you. I tried meditation, try to sit in silence, but how the fuck that help a neurochemical imbalance? Why would you tell a person that they were childish without an understanding of the pain that they surrounded? I always feel foggy somatic detachment. It's like my body isn't connected to actions. It destroys everything that's affected the fragments. I don't have nothing but senses and sadness, yeah.
Let it play. Kind of rocking a similar haircut there.
And Does she have a tattoo though?
Yeah, I mean, as we've alluded to, that song really means something to us for reasons that we've explained. Why were you okay when I came and said, look, I'm going to start let him listen to some harder stuff. It'll be on his phone. We had rules. I can't remember what they are right now. He couldn't take it to school.
Yeah, no, he's not allowed to take it to school, and he can't, well, just depending on who, when he has friends over, depending on, I mean, we know who his friends are.
Yeah.
And kind of some are allowed, they have a little bit more leeway.
You asked one of the parents and said, look, Alex listens to a lot of hip-hop, his dad's into it, and it's not radio versions. And I think, was it the mother that said, oh, my husband listens to rap and so does the little fella?
Yeah, know your audience. That's one of your biggest lines is know your audience.
And what I mean by that is if he has a friend that comes over or he's at their house, I don't want him playing anything because you don't know what the rules are in that house and you don't know what they're opposed to.
Right.
Right. Or their teaching curve, if you will. Not that there's a right or wrong curve.
And he knows that there's words that are, you can hear, but they're not to come out of your mouth.
Yeah, absolute no's, I say.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. So.
And I think it's worked. He's a mature kid. He's 11. He just turned 11, and he's a mature kid.
I think our family circumstances have caused him to
grow up a little bit more
than your typical 11-year-old. But
stuff like this has helped us connect with our son a little bit. You know, being able to find the outlet because he likes sports and he likes movies, but you want to see him when he's got his headphones on, word for word, except the bad words.
He censors himself. Oh, it's so funny.
I know. Walking around the house reciting some of the most complex rap songs out there.
Well, in the shower. We have a rap god in our own shower.
Word for word, guys. Bar for bar. I'm not even joking. Vinny, Woo. To hear him sing a whole Wu-Tang song and beep himself every time there's an appropriate word said, it's comedy gold, but for me, it's heartwarming, you know. There's a few things I credit with kind of saving my life because when I was younger, I was making some bad decisions, and one or two wrong decisions, I would have gone down a road where I'd be dead or in jail. Hip-hop is one of the things that saved my life because instead of choosing to go and do some things that my friends did, I chose to stay home and listen to my music with my headphones on, and I see that in him already. You know, it's amazing that music can be, I don't want to say therapeutic, but it can just be an escape. You know, people say that about movies. It's an escape. Music's the same thing.
I used to play the saxophone, and I would go in my room, close my door, and I think I used to think that if I closed the door, then nobody could hear me, and nobody else in the house could hear me.
Yeah, no one would hear a saxophone blaring at all.
Nope.
No. Soundproof bedroom, you're good.
Yep, absolutely. But Mom could always tell what kind of mood I was in.
Based on
what I was playing.
Yeah. Now listen, this is an episode that's a little bit different because I know, you know, specifically younger people that are watching YouTube may not get what we're talking about. They might, and they might even say, hey Mom, come look and watch this. But
you're educating Alex, but you're educating me at the same time.
Yeah, you mean with Vinny or the shows?
The shows.
Yeah, because
I watch them too because I'm learning things too.
Yeah, and Alex is. Yeah, I wish I could show you our full recordings because they're usually an hour and a half. That's why you see so many cuts because he's just question after question after question, and I love it. As long as it's not like, why is the sky blue? Because I probably can't answer that up with 100% accuracy. But if he's going to if he wants to know, you know, who DJ Kubert is, I'm a school him. We're going to sit down. Let's have a chat.
If he wants to talk science, he can come see Mama.
Go see Mommy. But what I was getting at was if there's any parents that happen to be watching this, and again, it won't be for any, I'm sure 90% of you guys aren't going to dig this. Maybe I'm wrong. Feel free to reach out. You know, on Twitter, at RaisingHimHipHop. Send us a direct message, and, you know, even if it's just, hey, we're going through this with our son and we're not trying to deal with something. Trace is part of 30 different groups like in Facebook and all that, offering advice, just because we have kind of unique circumstances here. We'll be more than happy to, if there's anything we can offer, even if it's just a set of ears. But
sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes that's all you need.
Yeah, and that's true. Again, that song was called Is Happiness Just a Word? And it's on the Carry On Tradition EP. You can find it on iTunes, but I'll put the links down here.
Alex will be very happy that we got the title right this time.
Oh, Trace does it to piss him off. But she'll say, can you play the Happiness song? And he's just, I don't have a Barney song. He gets so mad at her. It's awesome. I love it. That's the kind of house we're in, right? That's what we do. We try to make it fun. Any last thoughts about the song? Or even Vinnie Paz in general? Or because it's funny, she really has become a Vinnie fan.
This was my introduction to Vinnie, and I fell in love with his voice and then his message. But the message helped me understand.
That's not what she told me the night. She said she has a crush on his voice.
Yeah, well, I do.
Right? So now I got to start trying to talk gravelly.
Yeah. Bring it down a little bit.
Yeah, so I mean, that was your introduction, and I think pretty much every album now, you've got a couple songs that you've found. That song, Is Happiness Just a Word, is what Trace connected to make her a fan, as something I've talked about a lot. For me, my connection with Vinnie came, it was shortly after my son was born, about 8 months after he was born, that I heard one particular song. And I was in a real dark space because he was born. We didn't even get to hold him for a month. He was flown to another hospital, another city. He had 24 surgeries before he was 2 years old. Global delays, mental delays, everything. And no one knew what was going on. They couldn't tell us anything. And there was a song on their first album, back when he was known as Icon, the Verbal Hologram. And the album was called The Psychosocial, Chemical, Biological, and Electromagnetic Manipulation of Human Consciousness. So right away, you know that these guys are operating on another level. But there's a song on there called I Who Have Nothing. And it was just about feeling alone, and feeling like all you have is your emotions and your fears and whatnot.
On top of throne, I've known for many years that I would turn to rust. I find a reason for another breath before my return to dust. I become one with science and mathematics.
And that song actually got me through that dark period. I was able to be like, you know what? I'm going to be fine with this. It's good. He's my boy. I'll do whatever I need to do for him. So that's when I became a Vinnie fan. And I just find it fascinating that my wife has connected with Vinnie on the same kind of level because of another song that he wrote later in his career when he was older and wiser, because that song came out when he was younger. I don't know if he was a teenager, but he was definitely late teens, early 20s. And it was a deep song. And to see what he did here and have Trace be able to relate or connect to Vinnie because of her son, it's always been something that I'll take with me forever, you know. So check them out, Jedi Mind Tricks. The links are all down below, and there's a lot of good hip hop out there that's like that can be soul food, that can be healing, and that can be helpful. So anyway, again, thank you everyone for the subscriptions.
Don't forget what's Alex's line. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave a comment of anything else you would like for Rob and Alex to look at.
It means a lot to us. You know, my wife is here, and like we said in the last video, she's recording your comments that are requests and, you know, giving them to me. We're trying to schedule them all, so we're going to try and do as many as we can. And yeah, it just means a lot to us, and I hope you guys dig this, and I hope you have a great week. Anything else? All right, thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Peace, guys.